What?
All right, we are live here with you, Fatboy FadeAway, episode 209. I got Tyler here with me, Brian the main man Johnson. Casey's in what do we call it when it's wintertime? What do bears do? He's hibernating this morning. We'll see if he wakes up, gets it together here. Tyler, how we doing here?
Oh, I'm doing great. We got a good day of football ahead of us. We got some big news for the Raiders. The Niners have a couple good. Both the Bay Area football teams are hiring. I'm excited. How are you guys doing?
Good. So is this the greatest weekend, Johnson, in football? Is this what I said last week? Is this the best one, Johnson? What do we got?
Yeah, I would definitely say with the games that this is going to be the greatest weekend. With the Raiders and the Niners news, it's just added on to it. So,
it'll be interesting how it plays out. Obviously, but out here we got the 12 o'clock start with the Eagles and the Commanders, and then we go 3:30 start with the AFC Championship game. To me, it's a bit. I mean, it's just a massive gap between the interest in games. To me, that the Chiefs, the Bills one, just far superior than the Eagles. Commanders, a division game, third time. Maybe it's the Commanders, maybe it's the Eagles that just don't give me the same juice as those other teams. But I guess the rookie quarterback angle is the best thing about the NFC Championship game. But am I crazy thinking something like that? Or you guys feel the same way?
No, you're absolutely right. This game in the AFC has been like a cultivation of 4 years, 5 years since Josh Allen and Mahomes came into the league. They're just bitter rivals in that Mahomes has prevented Allen from taking that step into like superstar, where he has all the talent. He's a great player. He just has to get that Super Bowl, and Mahomes has prevented that.
Does it feel like a Brady type Manning thing?
I think so. I think it has a lot of the same like qualities. In my opinion, the two best quarterbacks in NFL, and one of them.
I thought last week Lamar was the best quarterback of that.
Lamar's the best player. No, I don't know. Lamar lost. I don't know. Lamar's definitely right there. I'd argue Lamar if he was playing this weekend.
Right, he was number one last week. This is a swift rotation. There's a lot. It's power rankings, baby. This thing can go. But it does seem like
I just feel like Josh Allen has just been Superman this year. This has probably been his least talented team that he's had in his career, and the guys just jump on my back. I'm going to take you to the promised land.
Well, we'll see if he can take him today. This will be the big one. He had his chance to move on from him. What was that, 3-4 years ago, when they were up by 3 with 12 seconds left? Defense couldn't get the job done for him. He has another opportunity today in Kansas City. Who do you like to win the game, guys? Do you like the Bills to pull it out, or do you like the Chiefs to advance again for the first three-peat in NFL history? Well, Super Bowl history. Who do we like?
I'm gonna go I think Josh Allen's gonna do it. It has a feeling that the way he's been playing all year that he's just destined to be in the Super Bowl this year. So I'm going to go Josh Allen, and the Bills are going to win. And I just hope some tears for the Swifties up there.
They come down. Well, she's been bringing them good luck over these last couple of years, right? She's a big part of the NFL now.
I got to bring the TMZ angle. I want Josh Allen's girlfriend not to like Taylor Swift.
I saw there's a lot of people that had issues with people complaining about the Chiefs last week in the refs. I saw, obviously you always have the same pushback about them getting the refs, but then there was a lot of people just kind of pushing back on it the other way, saying, well, these teams just aren't good enough to get the job done. Like obviously you got to play better football than what the Texans did to be able to complain like that. So I thought that part will be interesting heading into this game. Every call is going to be looked at even more under a microscope, especially if it affects Buffalo. Tyler, who do you like to win?
I like the Chiefs. I just like their roster better. The defense is better. They can run the ball. Mahomes, if he's in a close game, he has the ball late, he's going to make a play. I think Chris Jones is a good X factor on the defense and slow down Josh Allen's running. And then Spagnuolo, I mentioned him last week. He's just the best defensive coordinator, and he has this continuity where he runs his scheme with the same 11 guys, and you just know they're going to be where they need to be to make plays. So I got the Chiefs winning. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I could see Josh Allen doing something magical, but at the end of the day, it's the damn Kansas City Chiefs, and you know those referees, like you mentioned. They're going to get a little call here that at some point, Patrick Mahomes will find that magic to get that whistle to be blown.
I'm going to go with Johnson, sticking with the Bills. I accidentally called you. That's why I just texted you. Sorry, Hana was on the I jumped in here. Yeah, so I go the Bills. I think it's their time. If there's any time for them to win this, the Chiefs are there for the taking. This is not their most dominant team. This is definitely there for it. We'll see if Chris Jones can wreck a game or something like that for him. But the Bills I think they're prime for it. How about the NFC? Who do you guys like?
Do you think this Chiefs team is worse than last year's Chiefs team? Because I don't think it. I think it's better this year than last year.
I think they're about the same to me. I honestly think. I mean, I know their defense might be a little bit better statistically this year, but
they have more speed on offense though. Like last year, they were running Juju Smith-Schuster as their number 2 guy. Obviously, Rice being out hurts them, which it's about even.
Wasn't Pacheco a little better last year?
But wouldn't you say this year that the Chiefs have been more lucky than they have in the past, just because the games they won in the regular season? I mean.
I don't know. When you only lose one game, it's hard for me to say you got completely lucky when you're the 2-time.
Well, I mean, just like the Denver game, like it doinking off.
Wasn't blocked.
But I'm saying, I don't know. They've had a couple kicks that have doinked into the, and then they had the Ravens game at the beginning of the year. I don't know. I don't think they've been as good. I don't think their record reflects how good the team is.
So I have a theory with like teams like this that are so good, like over a period of time, that they make their own luck a little bit. And I know that sounds like a stupid phrase, but they always put themselves in a position to have like a game winning play, or even they don't get blown out. They are in games, and like they have the best closer in all of football. So like to me, it's not surprising they also have this type of like record. But I mean, yeah, the block at the end for sure. They could easily have 2 losses, and they should on something like that. But I feel like a lot of the other ones, they kind of just have a tendency to make their own luck a little bit more than other teams, and they have the best quarterback tight end duo of all time, maybe. So you got that going for you at every angle. So I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm picking the Bills, though, Brian. I feel like it's hard to win so many close games at the same time.
Yeah. So.
Well, I agree with Brian that they probably aren't as good as the record says. I agree with you as well. You make your own luck. And when you have the best quarterback and the best head coach, you're going to get a couple more, you're going to find a way to win in games that you might deem lucky, where they're just better, so they figure it out at the end. And that's just what the Chiefs are at this point. Like, they're going to play defense. Mahomes isn't even dynamic anymore, in my opinion. Like, maybe because of the weapons. I mean, you look at the numbers, there's no dynamicism. The yards per attempt aren't great. He didn't even go for 4,000 yards this year. He hasn't been over 30 touchdowns in 2 years. Like, he's still going to close games great because he's a great player. But as far as, like, the Chiefs offense, it's not dynamic. It's 4 yards in a cloud of dust almost. And Kelsey's figured it out in the playoffs, or at least he did last week.
I'd be curious if they ever get him another, like, dynamic receiver here shortly. Kind of like Brady was able to get Moss there at some point just for that short little run. Do they give him that? Do they give him that same chance? What do you guys like with the NFC?
I'm gonna go the Commanders. I just feel like Jaden Daniels is playing special right now, and I think the Commanders' defense is underrated. I think they're gonna find a way to neutralize Barkley, and I think that's how you beat the Eagles. You make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm.
No doubt, and he got the Rams banged him up pretty good last week. He took a lot of shots, as we were talking about on Talking the Gridiron. Talking the Gridiron was fun last week. Nico joined, so had a little extra dynamic there with him and Jimmy on the show with it. But he made some good points about the Commanders. And he likes him, but the one thing that it's hard to always go back to is outside of Dan Marino, there really hasn't been a rookie quarterback to ever lead a team to the Super Bowl. And I know that's just a crazy stat, but that stat is there for a reason. because it's hard for these guys when every level the games get tougher and the more experience you get, little things tend to make a difference. Might not be as
but like I say, records are meant to be broken.
Well, we're an A's fan. Those records never were broken. We had to suck it up and deal with those playoff losses over and over, Johnson. So your positivity, as much as I respect it, at times, those stats are just what it is. They played out. There's a chance it could happen, but I think the Eagles win. For Daniels being a rookie quarterback, it's the third time the Eagles have seen him. This isn't the first time like the Lions. The Eagles don't have 38 guys out on defense, basically as well. They're not in a dome. I like the Eagles to win by over 10 points today.
Yeah, I'm with Darren. I think the Eagles
negative Darren today. I like it. He's back with the.
How is that negative? Eagles fans might think I'm positive, Darren.
You can't disagree with Brian, or else it's negative.
I know. Come on, Brian. I'm positive. Positive.
You brought up the A's. If you would have got up and started cheering during those cheer moments and wouldn't have sat down, maybe we would have brought a little bit of faith. But you're just Mr. Negative.
You think T Long would have heard me up there? I could have gave him a little extra boost, a little extra.
Swing at the two-seamer.
Lay off the two-seamer. Watch for the inside fastball, you idiot. All I remember about that game is the damn toilet paper coming down from Mount Davis. After that game, it was the damn Red Sox fans throwing toilet paper. T, what do you think? You said you were with me with the Eagles?
Yeah, I got the Eagles. I picked the Eagles from the beginning. Brian continually picks against the Eagles. Do you hate the Eagles, Brian? Do you have something in your blood?
I feel like if this was the NFL Network, I'd be doing the lone wolf chant right now.
Brian, is a lot of it the hatred for the Eagles?
I don't know. I just their arrogance, and they think they're above everyone, and I don't know. It's like they made a big deal when they beat us that one year, even though you knocked Purdy out, and then we play them in the regular season and smoke their butts. So
their fans are they got to be some of the worst though in terms of like. So they definitely got to be some of the worst. Some of the not all, obviously not all, but
I'll be honest. That NFC Championship still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The one Purdy got knocked out in.
And you guys have never lost him in the playoffs like before that, right? Or was there a year you got upset by? Did you get upset by them, or was it the Vikings that upset? I thought
it was the Vikings back in the day.
That's who I was thinking it was. It wasn't the Eagles, because I feel like you guys would beat the Eagles every time you played them I think it was a regular season game I'm thinking about where you guys got smoked by the Eagles back in the day. When they had that was
that game that Steve Young got benched, remember?
Oh yeah. Nobody did quarterback play like the Niners back then. So I guess our biggest, Brian, you're relying on the rookie quarterback. I'm not as big a fan on the Commanders defense, I think, as you are. I've always been a Bobby Wagner fan. That corner for Washington is pretty good though.
Still.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good.
I got you today, Terrell. I got you. I got the Commanders' faith.
Barkley's been so awesome though. Like running backs to go like 68, 72. Like you just don't get guys like that break it to the house, it feels like, anymore nowadays. And he just seems like he seems a level above most of these other guys here, outside of maybe Henry, of course.
Yeah, even Henry's better. Like his dynamics, like his home run hitting, we haven't seen it since Adrian Peterson. And before that, it was maybe LT, and then before that, I don't know. Like Barry Sanders, it's not very often you get these running backs breaking off 70-yard touchdowns like every other week. He's been special, and he's behind a great O-line, and that's why I think the Eagles will handle the Commanders. Like you have the best O-line, D-line. Day Ingles has been great. Don't get me wrong, but I think it takes a whole football team, and that's why I think the Chiefs as well will beat the Bills.
Now, Brian, roster. I'm not going to sit here and start crying if the Eagles lose today. Let's put it that way.
I'll be happy.
I'm not going to sit here shedding tears for Philadelphia. But if I was putting money on it, I think the Cinderella does not fit. It does not fit for the.
I mean, who doesn't want to see the Commanders versus the Bills in the Super Bowl? That would be the greatest Super Bowl ever.
If the Commanders could bring back the other helmets, I would be more of a fan of
the greatest Super Bowl ever, Brian. That's it.
Out of any of the choices, I go, that one would be. That's what America wants right now. That's what America needs.
Brian, can you rank your teams you hate the most, 1 through 4?
in the NFL.
Of the remaining teams.
Oh, the Bills are got to be your
remaining
favorite.
team. I would
Yeah,
definitely say I hate the Chiefs the most, and I would
Right.
go Eagles after that.
I don't think he has any hate.
Your picks make a lot more sense now.
We got a little hatred there. Brian goes with the gut, as they say. No, I hear you. I think a lot of people, some people I've seen, even the great Stephen A. Smith picked the Commanders to win the game. So you got that him as well, Brian.
And he's Mr. Eagles too.
You got him on your side. All right, so we got that today. The NFC Championship game on Fox. So we got that one at noon. Then CBS/Paramount Plus. They have 3:30. The AFC Championship game. Any reports of snow, Brian? You're the weatherman. Have we heard anything with it? Is it going to be clear football out there?
I don't think it's going to be the way it was, when they played the Rams last week. That was crazy.
That was fun though. I always like watching a little snow game once in a while. It favors the running backs. I feel like in the situation of Barkley, like two of them didn't even get touched. That Curse guy though, is it Curse? The guy on the Rams. God, that guy is good.
He's good.
You guys look out for Purdy. He's gonna have to worry about him for the next few. That guy's legit. He could wreck games. So it'll be interesting how the Rams go moving forward with Stafford. McVay needs an answer soon.
Isn't it crazy that like these these D linemen from Florida State, like it's like people are always like, you can't judge a player by what school he went to, but it seems like there's certain position groups where you just know you go to Florida State, your top 15 pick, you're probably gonna work out.
Darrell, we got the Raiders.
Darnell Dockett.
The Raiders drafted Russell. The Russell number 2 pick.
He was good. Well, he was a good player though.
He had moments. He got caught up. He got caught up
personal stuff.
Got caught up in some things there. Speaking of the Raiders, they hire the young man, 73-year-old, going 74 in September, Pistol Pete Carroll from Marin County. He ends up there, but doesn't matter. Raiders are in Vegas, but he is from Marin County. A shout out Uncle Steve that got to play against him at an All-Star game back in the day. So what do you got with Pete Carroll to the Raiders? I wasn't hearing this name much. It just seemed like it was going to be Ben Johnson from every angle that we heard, but they end up hiring Pete Carroll. Brian, do you think it's a great hire for my Raiders?
Yeah, it's definitely you guys need to bring stability back, in the coaching realm. And I think it's just a perfect hire. And he brings he gets the team motivated. And I think he's going to maybe help. I think he's really good at developing the first 2 years. So I think it's a great hire for you guys.
And who do they, the Raiders are still going to suck. Yes, they are. We
got the glass is really empty with that guy.
Well, you know what?
He's a 49ers fan, Brian.
You got to respect the Niners fans, though, Johnson. There at the Sala. Shout out, Mr.
Just
Sala.
go Sala.
I got Sala. As a Raiders fan, my notes are. I don't know. I guess it's a great hire from the standpoint as Pete Carroll has an excellent track record. He's one of 3 coaches that win in college and in the NFL. Shout out Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson. But at the end of the day, they still need a quarterback. And I just don't know, I'm hearing Russell Wilson and it's like, that's not making you jump for joy at any point during the season. I think the greatest benefit is probably gum. Gum will never be spot.
Gum sales will go up in Las Vegas.
Make sure you got plenty of gum available.
I don't know, Matt Lutzel, who obviously one of my fellow Raiders fans here. He liked the hire. I'm 50-50 on it. We brought in John Gruden. He was an experienced coach. Yeah, we got a little better, but at the end of the day, it's still Raiders culture, and that's a tough one to break. I'm dead serious. The one thing I am looking forward to with him is that they might actually draft better defensive players like that. He does have history of developing the cornerback and safety position. I mean, can you guys name a good cornerback the Raiders have had in the last 10 years? It's really hard, right? And if they have, it's for one few weeks or here or there.
Jack Jones?
Yeah, exactly. There really hasn't. That's a really bad position to long to go with some of the linebackers that they've had over the past 2. And then Wilson was another terrible pick a couple of years ago at defensive end when they could have took
Jalen Carter.
I mean, it's just not smart football, as they like to say. So, Brian, I like the hire, but it's also like he's 74 years old. I don't know. Is that the new 50? It's like, what are we going on? I'm not sold on it.
He's got the energy of a 25-year-old man. Come on there.
I'm going to stay pessimistic, Brian, this morning.
Well, Darren, I completely understand your pessimism as a Raiders fan. Well, not as me being a Raiders fan, but I understand your pessimism. I love this hire. I think Carroll is a great fit for this type of roster. And like you mentioned, they need to draft defensive players. And everywhere Carroll goes, whether it's college, obviously that's a lot different recruiting. You get the pick of the litter at USC when you're paying guys when it's illegal. But then to Seattle, like he's always had good defenses. He knows how to coach defense. And that's what I just am like, the Raiders need this while they need a quarterback still. Russell Wilson isn't going to cut it. But he developed Russell Wilson. He had somebody in there who could do it, like as a rookie who wasn't supposed to be this great player in Seattle. He was. So, like, I really like the Pete Carroll hire. I think it's the best hire at the head coaching position you guys have had since John Gruden too, which wasn't great. I think it could surpass that, though.
He's still trying to. He's almost 100. He's 2.5 decades away from it. He's right there with it. He's 70. Like I said, going to be 74.
And not only that, Darren, you guys got your GM. He used to be the assistant GM for the Bucks, and he's got the greatest last name of all time, Spytek.
Spytek. Well, Brian, we're going to get negative Darren again. We had the greatest hire 5 years ago, and we got the Patriots assistant GM right from that. So it's like, it's breaking a culture, and this is John Lynch had a really hard job to do with the Niners when they brought him in, right? Because you guys were like in a terrible spot after Harbaugh left.
Tom Sula.
And so let's see if you're right. Let's see if he can get the job done. So you guys don't think he's too old. What's the greatest benefit to Pete Carroll? Like, what is it? Is it the defensive side of the football? Is that what he's going to bring, or is it Russell Wilson?
To me, it's his energy, and it's like he just brings a certain culture, and I think that's what the Raiders need right now.
Well, see, all the articles I read are like, well, expect him not to, even though they won't make the playoffs, he'll make a jump. It's like there's 7 teams that get in, and like the 7th seed gets like 9-7. Like, is that big of a jump to get 9-7? I don't know. Or is it like Sean Payton? It's going to take a year or two for them to have to turn around, or is it the most obvious thing on the world, that QB spot? It's like that. If they get the QB, the world changes, and I just don't know if they can get it. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm just pessimistic. I need more Raiders fans. I need results at this point. Like, you telling me you got somebody with history does not matter to me. It does not matter at all. So, like, it's like, give me results and nothing else. Like, that's where I'm at this point with the Raiders. The other great part about it is we get Carroll versus Harbaugh, Act 3, Johnson. We had him from the USC days. Then we had him with the Seahawks days, a little battle. And then who knew they were going to be back together in a stacked AFC West in terms of coaches? But
the oldest coaches in the world in the AFC West. My God, they're just bringing in senior citizen after senior citizen.
It's kind of funny that they go again at each other, though. I mean, at least it's kind of funny that they'll go Act 3 here with it. So, what do you like better, the USC Stanford Harbaugh days or the Seahawks Niners kind of battles?
I mean, we're both Niners fans. I think it's the easy.
Yeah, so
Seahawks. I mean, it sucks that the Seahawks always beat us, but beat us in the game that mattered the most with that Richard Sherman play.
Man, I got to go USC and the Stanford ones. They were way more vocal with each other during game. Like, they had the handshake heard around the world. Like, you would see Harbaugh just extra pumping himself up at like going Hulk after a win, trying to felt like little rubbing shots and then you saw Pete Carroll a couple years later pumping his fist 1,000 times after they beat Stanford. And then they had some good battles together as well. Other teams. The one I remember is when Stanford upset them at USC.
Oh, that was great.
That was the one that started it all with the handshake and all that stuff. So I got to go Stanford. USC is kind of they had great games, but I just felt like the tension was even more real back then too. In the USC,
I feel like we're missing Casey in this conversation because he'd be a lot more motivated than you are, Darren.
Well, I'm motivated by it.
Shot fired.
Well, what do you think, Johnson? You want me to have fake enthusiasm about this hire? So I'm saying, but what about the hire?
I mean, you're just always going to be a pessimistic fan, whether it comes.
I think I'm being realistic. I think I'm being realistic. They sucked over 2 decades. They've sucked. They have absolutely sucked.
Well, I thought even when Derek Carr was there, you were a little too harsh on him. And look, you got rid of Derek Carr, and you just brought in shit for 2 years. Sorry about the cursing, but I mean, I think maybe you should have
the Raiders deserve that word.
Should have given him more of a rope than you gave him, and I thought
he
you
got
were
9 years.
Too hard. But Carr got you to the playoffs
twice.
Playoffs,
and he lost the one game to the Bengals where they scored 10 points on Whistlegate, and then the year, and then
he didn't even play.
And then what did he do on the Saints this year? That was
like I'm just saying he was a better quarterback than you thought he was.
Okay, well, I'll say this. Yes, I've always said that he's not going to be getting Aiden O'Connell is not better than Derek Carr. But my whole point is Derek Carr is never going to get you where you want to go, and he's going to completely be overpaid to get you to 8-8 and 9-7. That was my problem with him. Is like you want me to pay the quarterback the most expensive position in the NFL, your spot, and this guy's at best going 9-7. Like I just was tired of him. I mean, that's the same thing like how you're complaining about Shanny after like a couple bad weeks, right? Gets frustration. Well, that's the same thing I'm getting with Carr over year in year out.
You gotta go the cheap shot with the Shanny.
I'm trying to go example, and that is an example of how you had a hard time with him, and I just didn't think I was not a fan of Carr in that regard. I do think Pete Carroll. If I was to say be positive about Pete Carroll, like I said, it is that I think he can help us develop a defense. Like I really think that's important.
It's okay, dude. You're like this with every fan base.
No, Johnson. If they
Brian, you were having our head coach getting fired who'd been to 2 Super Bowls last year. I don't understand why the pessimism isn't okay from
because it was a bad season. So it's a
bad
bad
season. Two and a half decades of bad
sometimes people
seasons.
get
What
mad
are
at the coaching staff. They're not going to massage Shanny and give him a kiss.
But I don't want to bring this back, but Darren's had two and a half decades of bad seasons. Like you expect him to be like, yay, everything's going to be great. I don't know. I'm with Darren on this. I understand where he's coming from.
Come on, Pete. Let's go, baby. That's not
but it's better than getting the Bucs offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
is it?
If we hired Dennis Allen or something like that, yeah, I'd be
like
or something like that. You're right. A young coach again, I'd be pissed. We got to call him out here to go in to take a season or two for TB1 and PD to get their roster where it needs to be. Their first thing is to get a QB and build that O line and defensive line. And that's the one thing with the Raiders I worry about with this hire. I could see the benefit of it, Brian, but I also see the downside of it is, like he just said, 2 years to develop, right? And so, like, it's like, oh, God, here we go again with another process and then getting the QB. And can they stay that route? The Raiders always jump ship. They never, like, how many times have they tried to rebuild? And it's like, no, we got to win right now. You're fired. Get somebody else in. That's always kind of been their problem. The only thing I like about it more is that they'll probably give Pete Carroll a little bit more time. I don't think they'd fire him after 2 years or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see if he can get a little late run. Well, I was trying to think, what would be a coach that was hired at an old age and kind of like helped his team? Bill Walsh, but he wasn't that old when he came. He was only
65 or something.
Well, I mean, he didn't get rehired though, did he? I'm saying like got rehired at a new spot, came in as
he was the Bengals offensive coordinator.
I was thinking maybe Marty Schottenheimer with the Chargers. That was like that was kind of the guy I was thinking. Right, he kind of turned them around a little bit. So we'll see if they can get it. Brian.
Well, Bill Belichick. Right. I guess he wasn't that old at the Patriots.
If we get Sanders, maybe my motivation goes up a little bit. I think that's what you got to wait for me. You get a quarterback, you might see this frown turn upside down. And we might have a different thought out of it with it, but we'll see. The Raiders hire. I mean, as much as I like the Raiders hire, it seems like you like the Saleh defensive coordinator spot back. So you loved that one, I know.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it immediately helps the defense. I mean, the energy brings, and I don't know. I just think it's a great hire, and we still need to draft and get some free agents. But I think that it's a great hire.
Well, he's familiar with Shanahan, right? Yeah. They kind of have something there with it. He had a lot of success with you guys. That was the other thing. So and since he left, was Ryan there before him? D'Amico Ryans or
Yeah,
after?
After.
Okay, so you had the little run with Sala then Ryans, but after those two guys, it just seems like you haven't been able to find your guy at the defensive coordinator position. Maybe it's the players, but obviously coaching helps as well. Tyler, you have any thoughts on getting your Sala back?
No, I think Sala's a good hire. I like his scheme. Just 4 guys get to the quarterback, but the rest let Warner, Greenlaw, or whoever's going to be that second middle linebacker make plays, and then the secondary will benefit from the pass rush. But they have to get better defensive linemen. That's the whole key to this defense next year. You can't run Bosa, 2 scrub D tackles, and a mediocre other end out there and expect results. Bosa's great, but this defense worked when you had Buckner, Armstead, one D tackle who could make a play, and Hargrave was a big swing and a miss. And they haven't had much. Menahu was good, but then he goes to the Chiefs, and now he's doing great. I don't know. They just need to get a defensive tackle and another defensive end. But this hiring, I do, and I thought it was a good
Yes, I agree with what Tyler's saying.
The D-line, yeah, that's kind of what my guy was saying here. Need to for the Raiders too. We need to get somebody up front. Yeah, well, you draft Wilson at 7, and you have a chance to get the best defensive lineman maybe in the NFL. Continues to be a big failure. So we'll see if Brian, what did you say the new GM's name is for the Raiders?
Spytech.
See if Mr. Spytech can draft a defensive lineman for us. See if we can get the job done there with it. All right. So I just saw it real quick before I moved to NBA or something. I saw they do the offensive rookie of the years, who's up for voting or whatever. And you have Daniels, of course. You have Neighbors and Bowers. Do you think Daniels gets all the first place votes, or do you think Bowers or Neighbors gets any? I just was curious. It's kind of I know Daniels is that quarterback position, so they always get more love, but Bowers set records at tight end. Neighbors had a hell of a season receiving. Is there no chance, or is it Daniels probably gets every first place vote, you think?
I don't think Daniels will get every first place vote.
I think Bowers
because the voting was done before the playoffs. If they watch these 2 playoff games, then Daniels would have got every vote. But I think Bowers, and they had great, probably better regular seasons than Daniels if Daniels didn't play the most important position, in all of sports. Daniels was great, and he was a rookie, and it's not even more unprecedented because we've never seen a rookie tight end come in and do what Brock Bowers did. That was a special season that I don't know. I could see I think Neighbors and Bowers earned at least a couple first place votes.
Saw Grandma Bowers at Wolf actually this week. Yeah,
wow.
We said good. So congratulations on a good season. That's what she said. So
what'd she say about Pete Carroll?
She said that they dated in high school. No, I'm just kidding. They're the same age. No, I'm just kidding. they're the same age over there. So any last thoughts on the NFL, gentlemen? Championship weekend here. Any last things here before we move on? Raiders. Maybe I should go Brian. We'll go game 4 A's. I'll just be over enthusiastic about every damn hire we get from this point. I'll just be that. All right. I don't hate it, Johnson. We just need to see more results. That's all I'll get with it. I do. What kind of gum are you chewing though, Pete? We want to.
It's got to be Big Red.
Big Red. Is that the? We'll start getting that. I mean, that's all he did.
And then to be fair, I did say, everything was cool with Shanahan when he copped up to that the season was on him. So I'm saying that to defend myself. So
all right, Brian and Shanny, get a room, buddy. You guys got to take it easy. They're back to getting a room. We're ebb and flow here. 2 beds to a queen size bed. We're moving back and forth here. We got one. We got NFL. There's always action.
I think he's a better coach when he doesn't have so much on his plate, which you'll have with Sala. I think he's great when he designs plays and he focuses on that. It's the last few years where he's had to worry about the defense.
Well, and you guys had the worst special teams this year, right? Yeah, probably one of the worst special teams. That was
special teams. It was called Special A.
You guys were getting cost a lot there with it. Brian, you got an NBA fact of the week for us this week?
Yes, I do. Carter got his number retired by the Nets.
I know that was kind of random.
2 retired jerseys in 1 season.
I thought it was kind of random that he got retired. The Nets retired his jersey. Are they just trying to get everybody up there? I was like, what's going on with that? I mean, they didn't win any playoff game in series of.
They got worse when he got there.
I mean, they had that one run where they made it to the semifinals, but I mean that's not it's not even the championship round to it. So I don't know. He was good for the Nets, but that was a random one to me. Are the Hawks going to retire? No.
The Grizzlies are retiring this year.
He's a Raptor. He's not a Net. That's kind of how I look at it. So I don't know. I know he didn't play long with the Raptors either, though. So it's basically the same amount of time. So
yeah, but I think there's a cultural thing with Vince Carter and the Raptors that just kind of went above basketball in itself. So,
Brian, Steve Kerr cannot beat those Lakers anymore. He had a great run with them to start. He's like 15-9 overall, but like the first 5 years they just were, or the first 5 matchups, they were clearly better than those Lakers teams.
Adam was overreacting. He compared him to Pat Ryan. So
that's a tough
Steve Kerr to Pat Ryan. Get Adam on this show. Adam's a moron if that's what he's doing now.
It's a joke, but you get them. But it's also Tyler, I know you defend him all the time, but his rotations are frustrating. They just don't.
The team's frustrating. The whole team sucks. There's not good players on this team.
But in some of the games that don't make, again, this is the part that will continue to not make sense with me, that I have the biggest issue with when it comes to Kerr is if a player is playing well, he'll just take them out, and that's the part for me that doesn't make sense like all the time. Like I'm like, this guy just made a couple threes, got a little block. Why are we taking why are we taking him out? Or that's always been my thing with them. But you're right.
He watches him in practice and he goes, "Oh, we got lucky. He made these threes. Or he's definitely not going in next time. We've won. He's a 25% 3-point shooter. Like Moses Moody's been god awful in the last 6 month and a half. This roster is terrible. It's not worth winning outside of Stephen Curry. There's nobody good on it. Wiggins has moments. But there's none of the role players where I'm like, yeah, play him. I wish he played more. I mean, Post and Kuminga. Kuminga was the one guy. But now he is playing when he's healthy. Obviously, he's been hurt for a little bit. I don't know. I don't mind. If you want to fire Steve Kerr, fire Steve Kerr. It wouldn't bother me at this point because the team sucks.
Well,
I don't blame it on him.
I think if he was that great of a coach, there would be a little bit more development from some of these players over the last couple of years. If anything, they've just kept trending down, and he's just not able. He's not been able to control the locker room as well. He's not able to control Draymond as well. Maybe that's the talent around Draymond that's causing more.
Maybe that's the contract he got, where you
could be
can't
part of that too. I think Kerr definitely deserves a little bit more than what you want to lean on with him. The other thing too is I think over 20 games in with Schroeder, he's been terrible.
He actually played good yesterday, and then he stopped shooting.
Him and Curry on the floor together are -9 this year. It's not a good thing. Not good when you're trying to bring him in to play them together.
Yeah. I actually think based on before the season predictions, it seems like the Warriors are worse than probably where you guys thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I had them finishing 10th in the West. I guess that's where we could see them, where they could still finish is 10, but the Spurs look like they're getting better and the Warriors are getting worse. So I could see that jumping. The King, and they can't beat the teams in front of them. The teams are they have to beat to actually get to make a little run. They can't beat them. They lose to the Kings recently twice. Lost to the Lakers. It just feels like every time they play in at this point. And they just can't beat the teams in front of them. So when you can't beat those guys, you're not going to be able to jump it. Yeah, sure, beat the Bulls and stuff like that, but you got to beat the guys in the teams in the West. The Suns, they've struggled with at moments against them. They just can't beat anybody. So they're not good. Buddy Hield is awful. So if they got to try to move on from him just to get a second round pick even back. Matt asked that question last night. He goes, on our really good teams, would he even be like our 8th guy? I said, I don't know. He might not have been. Maybe on the team where they just had Durant, he would have been back in the day. But before that
he could have foiled the Nick Young rule. That's where he rolled. That's where he's about at.
The Nick Young rule. Yeah, that's right. And then Draymond, I thought he kind of, again, idiotic with the Poole comments because Poole said, he's basically cool with everybody else, or basically said he's cool with almost everybody on that team. I'm assuming he's talking about Draymond. And Draymond says he has to get over it. I just don't think if you punch somebody in the face, even if he does call you the B word, I just don't think it's your right to tell somebody to get over it, buddy. It's like you're going to move on closer. You're not the one that got punched in the face and then that was put up on the network. It'd be the same thing if Poole punched him in the face. Imagine how much Draymond would be holding a grudge about that still. And he would hold a grudge.
Draymond would have punched him back.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, what if Poole knocked him out? Get my point? Is like he would have. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if the roles were reversed, there's no way Draymond would be like, yeah, I have a right. I should be over this.
Let's play hypotheticals real quick. I agree with you that like Draymond's an idiot. Draymond needs to shut up. But if let's quote unquote your brother calls a guy the B word and then gets punched, you're gonna go, you deserved it. You're not gonna be like, oh, you can hold on to this forever. Like you'd be like, get over it.
Well, all he said is he didn't like the guy on the other side.
No, but he called him. But in the heat of the moment, he called him a B word.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a problem. I'm not
with
saying
him punching him in the face.
I'm not saying he shouldn't not be over it. What I'm saying is if I'm the guy that punched him in the face, I'm not going to be the person to tell him to be over it. That's my point. Is I don't think I have the right to say you should be over it. And that happened 3 years ago, and I told you I'm sorry. I'm Draymond saying I failed, but I'm not a failure. Like just I don't know. Like Poole's probably being overly. I deal with this with kids all the time. It's like somebody they don't understand the sensitivity of each other of it. Like. I don't know. And I'm sure Draymond wasn't always the nicest guy to Poole at times. Whatever, you know what I mean? I'm sure like it's not just this one random moment in practice. There probably was lead up to this. It's usually what happens. And Poole probably did deserve it. That's fine. I'm just saying if I'm the guy that socked him in the face, I might not be the guy that might not be the best thing to tell him to get over it. It is.
But I mean, coming from me, it's just I don't know. Anytime you call somebody the B word, that's a tough one.
Yeah, Brian, I don't want to bring it up on air. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, we talk about that. It's the worst. Kudos, you guys paid attention to the NBA. I got to be honest with you, backup binge. I haven't been paying attention as much this year. This is probably the least I've ever watched the NBA in my whole entire life, to be honest with you. The product is a little bit off. We've talked about that before. There is not the same, but at least locally here at the Warriors, we'd like to see them play a little bit better. That'd be nice to have a few little results go there and there with it. Tyler, what you were going to say?
No, I didn't want to get into it. Actually, it's
an
off-the-air conversation
about Tyler, but that was like more like me being drunk and being stupid.
No, you were on a basketball court. You weren't
shouldn't
drunk.
have said that. So.
No, I don't know what you're talking about at this point. I was on a basketball court.
I think I was mad one time because you were doing a podcast during the fight.
No, it has nothing to do with me, Brian. We're fine. It's not that we don't need to bring it up now.
I thought that's what you're talking about.
I can bring it up if you want. It was that 24 hours when Darren was there.
Yeah, that's where Brian got socked, and I'm sure Brian wouldn't feel better if that guy looked at him and said, "You need to get over it." Like I'm sure that would, you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna feel better if you sock him in the face and you tell him.
Have you ever told him maybe you need to get over it?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe towards other things, but not over getting punched in the face. I wasn't the one that got socked in the face from a jerk and then ran away. That guy was a big, you know what?
I agree.
Well, we got our vengeance on him. I was with Howie one time at a bar, and
okay, don't incriminate yourself.
No, I'm not incriminating myself. I'm just saying that he was kind of starting stuff as usual, and then I saw some guy sock him in the face and knock him out. So that was kind of like vengeance. I was like, right on.
You're like
Batman was there.
Excellent. Brian's in the corner.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah, so we got that with the NBA side of it. Yeah, the Poole thing just kind of cracked me. The other thing that caught my attention was Jimmy Butler. Just gosh, being an idiot on that one as always, not making any sense. Just not missing a plane probably on purpose. Getting suspended another 2 games. Come on, Pat Riley, I'm on your side. I believe in you. Let's get the job done with it. What'd you guys make of the Hall of Fame with Sabathia, Wagner, and Ichiro getting in? Any thoughts on that? Tyler, I saw your thoughts. You obviously are a big fan of Sabathia getting in, even with the 3,000 Ks and the 250 wins.
3,000 Ks, 250 wins. You pitch for 20 seasons. You have an ERA under 3 one time in your career. That's just not Hall of Fame. That's the Hall of Very Good. That's not Hall of Fame to me. If you can have one season under a 3 ERA, that's it. That's all he did. And it was 3 months on Milwaukee where he really carried himself where he got this contract with the Yankees where they went out and made sure they got him. There's no memorable start from CC Sabathia where I'm like, oh, that's Hall of Fame worthy. Like, there's not
outside
one.
the Brewers runs, you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, he had that run, but one particular game, like even on the Yankees, Kurt Schilling was, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me how some of these guys get in and some of them are left off.
The steroid guys watered it down.
But is Schilling a steroid guy?
He's an a-hole guy.
Who cares? That's my issue. Who cares?
No,
that's why he didn't last on ESPN. He'd say certain things. I'd be like, "How's this guy on TV?"
At least he said something, though. I always respected it. At least he said something with it.
This Hall of Fame voting, it seemed like you play in New York, your voting numbers will go up. And Billy Wagner played for the Mets. Sabathia played for the Yankees. Ichiro, he played for the Yankees too. He would have been a Hall of Famer even if he never did, but he still had that moment in New York. I don't know. It just seems crazy that
you still don't have the best offensive player in the Hall of Fame. So
absolutely, Brian.
The Wagner one just continues to baffle me. I just don't understand. I mean, I would be in a lot of people loved him when I did the show on Thursday for Seventh Inning. We had Susie on his does her Astros podcast. They do other baseball stuff too, but she had that, and then I had Logan on too. We were talking about Wagner. Great story, right? Broke his arm, broke his right arm, then taught himself how to throw left-handed. I mean, he was good. I mean, he had, if you look at his ERAs over his career, he only had 1 year where he was over 3 ERA, but he didn't really have any memorable moments to me as well even as a closer. And I'll continue to add that if Francisco Rodriguez gets 10% of the vote and Wagner gets 75%, and they both were like pretty dominant closers in their day, even with Rodriguez having a World Series win, having one more All-Star appearance, and having a Rolaids relief one more, he's not in. And then some people would say Roger Maris isn't even in. He has a 60 home run and 2 MVPs. So I don't know. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes like this voting is. So I think all the voting needs to be made public now. Like, who we're at an era now, like that Ichiro guy we need to know who you are. I just think and Logan said that everybody was making too big of a deal of it. And I get his point is there's other great players that haven't got all the votes before, but it just doesn't make sense. Like how you could watch Ken Griffey Jr. and not vote for him, or like Cal Ripken and not vote for him. I don't know, like that. There's just certain. It's like, what are we doing? Nolan Ryan didn't get all the votes. I mean, he has 5,000 strikeouts. Like, I get he didn't win a World Series or a World Series after his rookie year, but there's just things like that with the baseball voting that. And once they didn't allow the roids guys in, you have these other guys slipping through the cracks that that are going to make it now, because most of these people are going to vote for somebody. Not every year, but sometimes you're going to have that be the case. So, like Andrew Jones, I think has a good chance to get in next year. Next year's class is pretty weak. I think Ryan Braun's the best player I saw on there. Ryan Braun has steroid things. And Logan's like, oh, I think he's going to get it. I go, if Ryan Braun gets in, makes no sense. And the whole, like, why would you vote Manny Ramirez in? He has a positive test. So it doesn't make any sense. So if he got in, that would just, I don't get it.
It's like if you were on steroids and you were too good, or you put up like too good of numbers, you get punished. But if you're on steroids and you were very good, really good, it doesn't matter.
I just don't get that part of it whatsoever. That part just always confused me with what we were doing with that. So I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening.
And how is Mariano Rivera the only unanimous Hall of Famer in baseball history? He played in New York?
Well, I mean,
so.
Yeah.
He's not unanimous. He pitched 1 inning. He pitched 50 innings a year. Stop.
He was the toughest guy in all of baseball.
That cutter was beautiful, man.
He's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, but he's not the best player of all time, which you would think the only unanimous player in baseball history would be.
There should be more than one. There should be like 30 guys that are unanimous. Like, you watch them and it's like you can't vote for him. Rivera should be unanimous. He was, but it doesn't mean he should be the only one. That's what that means. So
yes,
that's where it doesn't make any sense. And then guess who's number 2 on the percentage most votes?
Jeter.
There you go. So they got Cheetah number 2. And Junior 2. I think Griffey 3.
Another guy from New York.
You got that one there with it. All right. So let's go. I got movie picks for us this week, and I got one TV show. We might have done a couple of these, but Lunsell wanted me to bring up I did rewatch Meet the Parents this week, and that was funny to read. I haven't watched that in a long time, so it was kind of funny to catch up on that. But he said that or Meet the Fockers. Now, a lot of people I've realized that love Meet the Parents refuse to see the other ones because they didn't want to leave a bad taste in their mouth. I've listened to a few podcasts where they refuse to see the other ones after seeing Meet the Parents. Do you guys prefer Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers? That's the one with, who's the main actor? The guy in that one. Help me out with it, Tyler. I
think it's the guy from.
Why can't I think of his name?
Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, there you go, Dustin Hoffman.
I think the singer, my mom's favorite singer, the Jewish lady,
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara. Oh,
yep.
Her.
What do we go with?
See, personally, I enjoyed number 2 and number 3 way better than number 1.
Well, I think there's a few people that are in your camp as well. I've heard that from a lot of people. I mean, number 2 is pretty funny. There's some good lines in it. There's some good scenes with the dads.
I just felt like in number 1, it was like cringy how bad they were to Fokker. You know?
Well, I will say,
hey, Lord Fokker.
I will say nobody on earth should ever have I would not be marrying that woman after what she did to me. I would not.
Oh, that woman's one of the most evil, non-villains in all of
Greg can
movies.
look for the cat. Greg can look for Dad.
I thought it was so horrible when he spiked the ball into his sister-in-law's nose. Oh man.
That part was great.
You never wanted to do that to your brother-in-law, Brian? Go up there.
One of my low-key favorite is that when they huddle up right before that. Well, Lawrence Nightingale over here would get that. Like that. I love that part of it. And then they have the septic tank go down as well shortly after that. So I love those parts of it.
Lights the house on fire.
Tyler, you go Meet the Parents?
Yeah, I got Meet the Parents is one of my top 5 comedies of all time.
We've done Batman, but I wanted to do.
I got nipples. Can you milk me? That dinner table conversation is top of the line.
I like his little prayer he does too. His little prayer, day by day, day by day, day by day. Yeah, that one's so great. He spray painted the cat's tail. That was
pretty sick, Fokker.
Yeah, pretty sick, buddy. All right. So not Batman 2. So that one I know is The Dark Knight, right? That's the one with Heath Ledger, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go the first one of that series. Just
Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, or number 3. Tyler, do the
I got Batman. That's close.
So it's not. I think the Heath Ledger one kind of stands above the
rest.
Yeah. What's
Bane and Scarecrow? The villain in 3 is better. 1, I go 1. 1 setup. Number 2, 1 with Scarecrow.
You get a little Liam Neeson action.
You get Katie Holmes instead of what's her name? Gyllenhaal. Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I got to go 1. I think 1 was really good.
What do you think,
I'm
Brian?
gonna go 1. I'm gonna go 1 too because Katie Holmes is way better than the one that they got to be the number 2.
Have you seen Harold and Kumar go to
White
Cat?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're about to see Katie Holmes.
Have you ever had a White Castle burger?
I have. I went to St. Louis when I was 9 years old. It was pretty good. It was mediocre.
They keep them in the freezer section too.
You got the freezer right over there. I want one right off the grill, John.
Yeah, I want a fresh one.
I want one right off the grill there with it. I'm gonna go number 3 because the Steelers stadium blows up in that one.
I'm not gonna argue with you. You get Heinz Ward also.
The Steelers stadium does not survive. I like the Bane character. I like 1 too, but it's kind of a little there is that build up to the but I do like number 1, of course. But I think Bane does. He's a good villain. I go with Bane in that one as well. So I'm gonna go with number 3.
I came up with some Ryan Reynolds movies.
All right, give me one.
I got one is Just Friends, and then the other one is the Change Up. Remember where they switch bodies?
I love Just Friends. There's so that even that blonde chick that's the dumb. She just like there's something about the combination of her
Amy
dumbness.
Smart.
It's just like some of it is so good. Like takes her to the mall. The part where like where they ruin where she drives into the house like psycho because she thinks he dumped him with like with all the Christmas lights up and that. And I love
but I loved his brother in that.
Oh
movie
yeah, and that's
such a train wreck.
That was my next sentence is the brother in that one. I love his brother in that one too. I go Just Friends always, and then not Backstreet Boys, Boys to Men, when he's the chubby Ryan Reynolds in those scenes, right, where he's singing the songs with him with the braces on, like.
And then I remember, Mom, where are my skates?
I go Just Friends with it. Lunsel's in there with us. He's tuning in live here. He says Just Friends as well. Matt. Doing well. Yeah, we do live out here. We do live podcasts. That's our way with it. So, Mr. Lunsell, we were talking about Pistol Pete earlier. You'll have to listen to some of
the
that.
sharpest elbows in all the game.
Brian was from the sharpest. Yes, you never wanted to take an elbow from Johnson or from Matt Lunsell. You're gonna get. That was gonna be
You're
hard.
bleeding.
I always liked Matt because he always said he sharpened him too. Just the kind of end of the war of it. It kind of
in his defense, man, you couldn't do anything on him.
The long arms, man. It's an advantage for you, the basketball court. I think Matt was honest with you. He always said, yeah, but the endurance for me was that was Matt what I said. I don't know if but yeah, shout out Lutzel here on a Sunday morning. All right, Shanghai Noon or Zoolander. So Shanghai Noon's the one with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. Zoolander again with Owen Wilson, and you got little Ben Stiller. Will Ferrell makes an appearance in that as well. Christy
Mugato.
Christie's I forget what it is, but Ben Stiller's wife.
Yeah.
She's in that as well. What do you guys got with that one?
I got Zoolander. I think that's a very funny movie. When he does the reading for he goes, "What is this? A reading school for odds?" When it's like a little like model of the reading school he's gonna produce. It's the first time I saw Zoolander, I was like, "This movie sucks. What the hell am I watching?" And then the second time, I was like, "Oh, I get it. This is just hilarious." What was the other choice?
Shanghai Noon. That's what Owen Wilson.
Shanghai Noon with Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan. Isn't Jackie Chan in it?
Yep.
I've never really seen it, so I gotta go Zoolander.
Brian?
I'm gonna go Zoolander. I thought the best part was when they're spraying each other with gas, and then the guy gets blown up.
I like Zoolander. I'm like Tyler a little bit. When I first saw it, it was kind of cringy a little bit. Maybe I don't know. There was some I got it, but the humor, but it's a little much. But I lean towards Shanghai Noon. That's honestly, like, I know it sounds lame, but it's one of the funnier comedies that I enjoy. Just the idea of Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson on Cowboys together. There's like a lot of great like little one-liners in that, and I enjoy that one very much. So I lean towards Shanghai Noon over Zoolander. Though Zoolander is, I know, in a lot of people's eyes, kind of like a cult classic, as you would kind of say with that one a little bit too. So shout out Will Ferrell's hair in that one. The side wing with it. What do you got with this one? I watched last night, and then we got Wedding Singer or 50 First Dates. So we got Barrymore and Sandler in both of these.
Both of them.
There are some classic lines in both. Some of the singing with it is just unbelievable. Love stinks. Right there. I see you, table 12. I see you out there.
I love it. I love the dad. Like, you're the worst wedding singer in the world, pal.
yeah, exactly. He gets like knocked out of the face. I enjoy 50 First Dates too. I love the brother in that one. I love that one as well.
I love
the
Dan
Aykroyd.
Stay off the juice.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd's in that first one, or in that Wedding Singer too, right? When he's singing, I forget the song he's singing there with it. And then the guy at the end, right when they get married, I love him. Ooh, 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 ooh. Like he's like they're like going all out. There was like classic with it. And then what's the Casey with the Linda's the little kid calling it. And then he's like draws the picture of her with like devil ears and like the stick, and he goes, That's not very nice, but very creative. You got the grandma with serving meatballs. I enjoy that one too. So I go wedding singer. I know it's a little lamer, but what do you got, T?
I got wedding singer as well. The job interview at the bank.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any experience? No, I don't have any experience, but I enjoy money, and that's where you come in. I'd like to put more in that jar on the top of the refrigerator. It's just, I don't know. Adam Sandler, a wedding singer, is, and that's where he was like in his prime. That's like right, between or after like Billy,
like late 90s.
Between Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and after Billy Madison, Happy before Big Daddy, and just like him in his hot spot where you couldn't miss.
So that one I enjoy. 51st Dates though is good. I do enjoy that movie as well. I do enjoy that one too. So Rob Schneider with all the kids, that he has all that as well. So you got that with it. So I enjoy that one. Wedding singer shout out there. That looks like that gets the vote. All right, I go TV show here. Home Improvement or My Wife and Kids. I enjoy both of these. My Wife and Kids is with Wayans. He's the dad there. Marlon Wayans, I believe, is the dad that plays that one. And then you have obviously Home Improvement with Tim Allen. I think obviously Home Improvement probably was on a little longer, but My Wife and Kids was right there with it. And what do you guys have?
I'm gonna go Home Improvement. It's not even close.
Home Improvement, not close. Have you seen My Wife and Kids before? Just be curious.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't get the comedy in it.
Culture.
That's how I feel about Seinfeld.
You don't get the
so stupid.
How dare you? How dare you? My Wife and
Brian's so upset. He was like, "Don't talk about Seinfeld."
I think I like Home Improvement too, obviously a little bit more, but I do enjoy My Wife and Kids. Like like some of the lines that he has with his son is just, his son's such an idiot in that show. I just love the way the way he explains things to his dumb son in that way. So, and I'm a big Wayne's guy with some of their comedy. So, Brian or Tyler, you go Home Improvement too, or you don't strike me as a Home Improvement guy?
No, I love Tim Allen. I love Patricia Heaton. I thought she was good. And then the three kids always like. And that was my era. I was those kids' age, so I could like kind of oh, we effed up. How would he hide this from Dad? And then Dad finds out, we're in big trouble. So it kind of hit more home than My Wife and Kids. And I've probably seen 3 My Wife and Kids shows in my life, so I think it's pretty easy for me to go.
Okay,
Home Improvement.
I've binge watched most of those ones. I've seen them on there. A lot of it. Those were 2 shows I watched a ton. I could have gotten Reba. Brian, have you seen Reba? I love you.
Yeah, no? I have that. That was actually pretty. I like that one because it was like she hated the boyfriend because he was kind of a dummy, and she thought her daughter could do better.
That's a good show as well. A little Reba, like a little Reba.
Only Reba I know is Little Rascals, where the kids like. How about what on the other side?
Shout out Little Reba McIntyre there with it. All right, those were my picks for this week that I had with it. So. Those were the ones I got with it. So, what do you guys have for? Oh, I was gonna ask, that was the only one just because we didn't do Bob. What was the movie? What was the question, Josh? So this week on Tyler, hopefully you'll be able to do 7:30 stretch. We're gonna do it on Wednesday this week, but we're gonna do baseball movies and as part of our thing. Josh Lewis asked a good question. He goes, "What Brian? I know. Well, baseball movies shaped your childhood. If you had to pick like 4 of them so you have Angels in the Outfield, you have Sandlot, you have any of those. If you want to add other sports movies to it, I don't care for the sake of the conversation. But I thought that was kind of a funny question to think about.
Mine's got to be Major League. That kind of helped me grow up into it was like my first adult movie I kind of saw as like someone I probably was too young to see. My brother showed me. Major League, The Sandlot, Angels in the Outfield, and probably Rookie of the Year. The whole the lunchtime banter between 2 friends talking about a beautiful woman. Even though they're too young to be talking about it, it's just hilarious. Oh, Milk did that body good. Milk did that body good. That girl, she's stacked. I don't know. It's just. So those are the 4 that
That's when Tyler became a man. We had the milk scene.
There was no. Hey, I could have gone full frontal and the movie with Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins. Kevin Costner.
Is that one of your four? Is that one of your four?
No, that doesn't. That's the most overrated baseball movie of all time.
Oh no, that movie,
argue it.
That movie's classic.
No, it's boring.
Oh man, you lollygag the first, you lollygag the second. I love some of I love their interactions on the field. Kevin Costner and Tim Robbins.
Yeah, those are good.
It's going to be a fastball over the plate. You better run, buddy. I give you a gift. And walking, watching it. So Brian, what do you? Did you guys have? Oh, what baseball did you? What sports movie for you did you watch the most as a kid, besides Battle of the Bay?
I'd probably say Rookie of the Year, just because I like that one. And then Angels in the Outfield, I always loved it because they filmed it at Oakland Coliseum.
It could happen.
You're right. It was an Oakland Coliseum movie there. I go Sandlot, no doubt about that.
Sandlot's definitely
number one for me. Saw that 9, 10 years old. So that was always a good one for me. Field of Dreams would be on that list as well. I love that movie as too. Hana would say that about Field of Dreams. It's boring.
I love it when they're making the s'mores. It says, "How could I get more of something?" When you're not getting
I haven't had any yet.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Casey always tries to say that to the kids, but it never works. They don't understand it enough. They don't get it enough. A lot of people said Moneyball when I on this question. So a lot of people around Logan's age, a little younger, they loved Moneyball with that. Another one I enjoyed was Little Big League. So that one would be on
Little Big League with Griffey and Randy Johnson at the
that
end.
one would definitely be on my list.
Do you have Major League in your top 4? Any of you?
I'm still making my list. That one's kind of right on the verge for me. Because not as a kid,
Bob Uecker is great.
I saw that one later. I was like 8, I saw 17 or 18 for when I saw that one first. There were some other ones that I think Rookie of the Year would probably make that list ahead of Major League, just in terms of me as a childhood with that one. All right, so that's what we had for this week. What do you guys got for winners and losers this week? Brian, where do you want to start with this?
I'll start with loser of the week.
All right.
I'm probably going to go actually, I'll go winner of the week. The championship games both should be very good. So the winners of the week are the fans.
The fans, not Pistol Pete. Come on, how about you? I need a little love with the guy. So we'll see what the big games are. We talked about that early. Brian, Tyler, what do you got for winner of the week?
I mean, winner of the week for me is I figured out what my hobby. I'm gonna get into coaching at a serious level once my son gets old enough to be where I'm not coaching him. I'm taking over some. That is my goal. I finally figured it out. For my hobby, I'll be coaching a high school baseball team at some point. And my goal is to do it like what you've done at your middle school. Like I just want to do it and have like this program that I can build up in baseball. I think I'm more than capable of doing it. So
it's funny. I as time has gone on with me, I enjoy the coaching, but I think I'm actually for me. This is talking about like. I don't want that I don't want the high school thing anymore because I think I realize for me right now, my life, my weekends mean too much to me. I don't want to stay up that late. And I hate the idea of doing anything in the summer, like any traveling or something like that for like to set up, usually for like basketball, you have to do tournaments in the summer to kind of get your team going. You keep the chemistry going. So I think for me, I'm in a perfect world where I have like this kind of set up, like where I have there. But I think the other part for me that
baseball's a little different than basketball.
Baseball's a lot. Baseball's practices are way longer too. Yeah, it just takes more time.
Like 2 hours.
Yeah, but the equipment thing, all that. I always felt like baseball was more time than basketball for me when I did it. But at this point, I think the other part for me that would drive that is that I think every day I do PE with kids, so I don't have Before I didn't do that. So it was just show up to that coaching was my time with them. So I don't know. I think sometimes I get drained more of that during the week, thinking about even more time with some of these things. I have to
deal with this kid.
And then
extra hour and a half.
And then having 3 kids too that are in stuff. It's hard to, you know what I mean? That's kind of where I've realized that's what I once had, and doing that with a high school thing kind of has led to more of this middle school thing. And I'm doing everything I want, just on a different level than maybe going to high school or something like that.
No, I'm not saying. I didn't mean to like point out high school. There is no middle school like coaching, and I don't want to coach little league forever. It's too much politics I have not enough say. I've talked to people. been very friendly in their. Yeah, if you ever want to do anything, we're here.
Yeah, you can usually get like a start at freshman or JV job.
Anywhere,
Usually pretty good with that. So, all right, I like that too.
There's a place out here in Anaheim. You could tell they do traveling basketball leagues.
Yeah, I mean that stuff's everywhere with it. And like I remember when I had a few chances to get to like Newman. I know I had a couple chances to possibly get to that, but at the time I wasn't ready for it. I was still in school. League of Their Own, The Natural, and The Field of Dreams are good ones. League of Their Own as a movie. We're going back to baseball movies. That definitely would have to be on that list as well. Probably that would be a tough one to
that had to be one of the best endings. You know, when
League of Their Own definitely is up there.
Yeah, that one's definitely that one's definitely up there. League of Their Own, that one's a good one. Grandpa's, you got that as well with that.
I don't know what that is.
And then we got Howdy out here,
What's
kid cowboy out there at that. I'm not being by Pete Carroll's age as long as he's groom a future coach. Yeah, I guess should that be my winner of the week, Johnson? Let's stay positive, baby. Pete Carroll, we're winner of the week. Forget what I said last week. I don't care about those 2 decades. We have a real head coach, and he's got more gun than anybody on earth that can want. We're back. The Raiders are back. We are Aiden O'Connell, starting quarterback. I feel good. We are ready to roll. Develop Sanders. He's ready to go. Let's go. Winner of the week, Pistol Pete. And what'd you say his name was again? The GM. I'm never gonna get it. Is it
Spy Tech?
We'll call him Star Trek. That's it. We got Star Trek. We got Star Trek as our GM, and we're ready to roll. I don't know. The Raiders are who's he gonna groom? I don't know. We'll see. Who's the assist? Tom? Is Tom gonna be groomed as the next coach? I was just saying AFC West's division of grandpa head coaches.
Oh
yes,
yeah, I have a perfect loser of the week.
I guess winner of the week too could be senior citizens. We got that as well. Is that winner of the week, Brian? I don't know. That we go with it. Any other winners of the weeks, gentlemen? Brian? We gone to losers now.
Let's go losers.
What do you got for loser for me?
I had this guy flip out on me. I served him at his business, and he was taking pictures of me in my car and flipping me the bird. And I got him, and he didn't expect me to get him, so I think that's why he was pissed off. But
did you go Harbaugh afterwards, or like just start pumping your fists like, "Gotcha, buddy, gotcha"? You should really rub it in, Johnson. Yeah, let him know. Put a little salt in the wound there as you're driving off.
I did point at the subpoena in front of all of his employees and said, "You've been served."
You've been served. I like it. Yeah. It reminds me of that movie. Just you've been served. There you go with it. I love it. Low key, Brian or Tyler, what do you got for loser of the week?
I got local college sports around Sonoma County. Sonoma State cuts off all sports.
Crazy
for ever or until, but no sports at Sonoma State.
Supposed to save
big loser.
Million.
They just saved like $23 million. It's big loser for that. And then the Santa Rosa JC, I go to watch my nephew play a basketball game on JV, and then I go over to the JC. The ladies are on, or so I think. There's a couple men, or there's a man on the team. I don't understand it. I'm not pro trans players playing lady sports. There's a reason there's 2 different sports. So that's my losers. The local colleges around here, the JC and Sonoma State, just doing sports.
The Sonoma State one, crazy. I went to Larry Allen, rest in peace out there. We got
that Wells guy from
yeah, he's out there too. That's crazy though, cutting your
Memphis.
whole program, like not maybe just the big ones. Not 3.4 million they're supposed to save, cutting 48 guys too. So is it raining out here? No, but it's freezing every morning right now. That's what it is up here in Northern California.
Yeah, it's coming down out here.
Oh, that's probably, you guys maybe need a little rain, I guess, but out there as well.
Hey, Gavin, don't dump it in the ocean.
Don't dump it in the ocean there right there. My loser of the week, I just got to go Wizards for 18 straight road losses. The Wizards remind me of the old Warriors days of just like, I don't know, those 90s. That's what they remind you of, these 90s Warriors, early 2000 teams that are just so bad, and like there's no reason for them to even play. It seems like just showing up is not the right thing. So
is Jordan Poole the Larry Hughes of the Wizards?
Yes, he might be the Jordan Poole of the Wizards. He might be the Larry. He's somebody.
Greg's on the same wavelength as me.
Bills and Commanders. I got Bills. I got half of your wavelength. I just don't have the Eagles with it.
I got the old same old.
I'm all right with the Chiefs Eagles game as well. That was a good Super Bowl years ago, but I'm with Brian. It'd be nice to get a little new blood in there. Even though both teams have, they both played in 91 when Rippon's a star. So we got that. He used to have a star.
I remember
a random starting lineup. I still have it actually.
Mark Rippon, number 17.
He's a star. It's kind of random how you as a kid you remember I remember watching that game at my Aunt Sandy and Paul's condo.
Clam chowder?
At a condo in Marin. That's where we were at watching that game. That's how long ago that was. So those are our winners and losers of the week. Hey, can I ask you guys something real quick? I was watching this from I saw this on a receiving stats for I want to do a very quick wide receiver thing just for you guys. Would you rather have Larry Fitzgerald or Terrell Owens?
T.O.
Would you rather have?
I go Terrell Owens.
Would you rather have Isaac Bruce or Tony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez.
Marvin Harrison or Steve Smith?
Do I get Steve Smith with Peyton Manning?
No, you get whatever. Just Marvin Harrison or Steve
I'd rather have
Smith.
Steve Smith then if we're just in a vacuum.
I'm going to go Marvin Harrison.
Julio Jones or Torrey Holt?
Julio.
Mike Evans or DeAndre Hopkins?
Ooh.
Mike Evans.
I
think DeAndre Hopkins' peak is higher, but Evans has done more for long. I'll go Mike Evans.
It's interesting. From every guy you guys picked basically had less receiving yards than the guy gave you the option for. Not by much, but it was like those are some of your main lists from it. Travis Kelce or Devontae Adams?
Travis Kelce.
So that one's easy for you guys on that side of it. See, it's kind of funny how you think Hines Ward or Derek Mason?
Hines Ward.
All right. Those guys, all these guys I'm picking are like 200 yards away from each other in terms of where that. Yes, we're taking Brock Bowers over all those guys. That's where we're taking Greg. We're taking Brock over there with it. Gilbert or Goldberg? I go Gilbert.
Gilbert.
The Rock brought him out, acting like he was all scared.
That's one of my favorite episodes ever.
Gilbert was great. WWE used to do the best, making fun of characters.
Didn't they have Mini Dust or something too?
They had Owen Hart. Owen Hart's made fun of guy before he passed away was hilarious till he had that fatal accident.
Dwayne Johnson or The Rock. I go with The Rock. Nobody cares about Dwayne. We go with The Rock. No, we go with The Rock. We go with The Rock. That's where we go with it.
I saw Dwayne play college football. I'm going The Rock.
You're going. What a hairstyle back there. What a hair. What a beauty over there with it. I just wanted to get. I thought this was kind of a funny to see here with I had with one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. I just want to get it up here as we kind of maybe end the show here with it. There we go.
Oh yeah, the dart.
Wow. She's a beauty, ain't she? Yeah. What kind of gun is this? That's a tranquilizer gun. If any of these little fuckers decide to freak out on the kids, I get to take them down. Keep that right, mother. Oh, what? That's what I thought. Shut up. Hey, be careful with that. That's the most powerful tranq gun on the market. Huh. Got her in Mexico. Cool. Yeah, it is cool. They say it can puncture the skin of a rhino from 100. Oh! Yes! That's awesome!
Yes!
What? You just took one in the jugular, man! Whoa!
No, that scene to me is one of my best. Whoa! I just love that scene. I had to get it up there when I saw it last week. That one just cracked me up with it. So, good show, guys. Enjoy the championship Sundays. T, you got one more thing here?
Yeah. Hey, go check out Fatboy FadeAway Sports Podcast on TikTok. it would be greatly appreciated. To anyone listening, Brian, Darren, thank you for coming through, posting videos.
We had a
We'll
lot
be
of
there.
comments.
We're doing it multiple times a day. We'll give you content. And then check us out every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Sundays.
Shout out Michael for Niners Life. Uncleated. We got the Back of Binge podcast. Doesn't like the NBA. Greg at Lear, we appreciate you. Frank Sanchez coming in there with the League of Their Own. Appreciate that. Cowboys fan, howdy. We got you as well. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Darth Vader, I liked it. We get Gilbert. I haven't heard that name in a while, so appreciate that as well. Kid Cowboy as well. Appreciate you tuning in as well here. Fatboy FadeAway is with you on Sunday mornings, usually around our time, 7:30, a little earlier today. I had to get out. Got to get to a basketball game. Got to get to a basketball game here. Appreciate everybody. Enjoy the championship games, gentlemen, today. And we'll get it next week. Casey, you're out there. Shout out. Pistol Pete.
Hit the